Welcome back. I hope you are enjoying your stay with Vault-Tec.
Tier 1 networks offline.
You've navigated my menus to my satisfaction. Some local terminals are unlocked.
Tier 1 networks online.
Tier 1 systems optimal. Internal Vault terminals are ready to browse. These terminals contain early Vault Overseer logs and resident testimonies. Main menu.
Let's check out those terminals. Alright, this is the first one.
Vault 18, Tier 1 Network, Terminal 1, Vault 18 History, Part 1. Vault-Tec Auto Alert, 10-23-2077. Automated signal from Vault-Tec. Nuclear launch detected. Initiate Directive Order 001. Overseer Clarence Duvnik, 10-23-2077. My god, it actually happened. We all thought it was a drill, but we went anyway. And now, here we are. I ordered the vault door to stay open for 5 minutes longer than was defined in my directives. I still had MPs trapped outside. I saved them all, and a few more than was called for. Now these two angry-looking Vault-Tec reps are starting to edge in closer. I have a feeling that they already have a plan for how to dispose of my body, and I'm pretty much powerless to do anything about it. Well, this isn't how I saw my evening going. Overseer Duvnik.
Well, it looks like he was really scared of those Vault-Tec reps. I bet they were upset with him for defying directives, but I hope he saved a lot of people.
Guard Chief Clint Dixon, 10-25-2077. This is Guard Chief Dixon reporting that MP personnel have taken control of Vault 18. After 48 hours of unrest and civil dispute, Vault-Tec personnel in the Overseer's office were arrested and sent to holding in the jail. Overseer Duvnik was found dead in his office in the hours following the door being sealed by these agents, who had forced a cyanide capsule down his throat. For the rest of these Vault-Tec agents, I hereby ordered they be kept under house arrest until further notice. One of them I caught attempting to initiate the Vault's self-destruct sequence when we broke through the door, and I personally shot him through the eye. We will sort out the details later.
So they did kill him. I am glad that everyone else rallied behind them, though, and imprisoned those Vault-Tec representatives.
Overseer Clint Dixon, 11-25-2077. It has become apparent to me and several MP guards that the Vault-Tec program was never meant to save anyone. Outlined in the directives are viral experiments on unwilling test subjects, sexual exploitation of minors and small animals, and what can only be described as psychological torture of innocent civilians. Through the efforts of several computer experts and military servicemen, we gained control of the master computer and set it to defaults. Hundreds of live video feeds from the other vaults were discovered, as well as active connections to the vault's server network. I sent former Army engineers to cut the cables to the Federated vaults, not marked as control. Leaving them open would be a toxic influence and lead to disaster one day. Guard Chief Dixon.
Oh, so he had the cables cut because they didn't want to watch those experiments on the other vaults. That's awful. Why would Vault-Tec do that?
Overseer Clint Dixon, 5-3-2079. The vaults were never meant to save anybody. Stored in Overseer Duvnik's desk were directives from Vault-Tec. All residents of Vault 18 are to be subjected to round-the-clock live video feeds from across the country. All of the other vaults. All of those people. Vault 18 was an experiment. I can hardly wrap my mind around it. The world is over, and we were lab rats. How could they do this? We shut off the computers before anyone could see it. The horrors these people are being subjected to. This information doesn't leave this terminal. It is recorded for future overseers only. We hold elections next Friday night. No one needs to know what happened here. Guard Chief Dixon.
I don't blame him for shutting off those connections and stuff. I don't think I could take seeing all that human suffering so much of it all the time either.
Overseer Clint Dixon, 5/8/2079. To my surprise, the Vault residents elected me Overseer, even knowing I very well may have put Duvnik in his grave. When we overthrew the Vault-Tec system, it was by the might of our MPs and ex-army personnel. We were praised as heroes and worshipped by the population we are clearly outnumbered by. As we all swore an oath to uphold the Constitution, we immediately reinstated a democratic electoral college. As military men, we are already very proud of our service, and the American people are basically programmed to praise us at face value. Unfortunately, what they don't understand is that most of us are very simple men of service age, and completely unfit to hold any form of office. But because we were overpraised and treated with special permissions, we started to believe we had special rights and privileges not afforded us in a civilian standing. It's good to treat your military men with respect and gratitude. It's entirely another to make them feel like they are the sole proprietors of that gratitude and respect. We get complacent and arrogant, and a self-entitled military is quite possibly the most destructive force to democracy on Earth. Thus, the nuclear our world turned into, and my situation here, trying to keep my MPs from taking advantage of the population. Overseer Dixon.
Well, he seems like a good person. He recognized that the military was not all it was cracked up to be, and that they, just because they were in the military doesn't mean they were good people.
Overseer Clint Dixon, 8/20/2080. I went into this thinking that my job as Overseer was to keep water in the pipes, keep it clean, and make sure the lights stayed on. Turns out that largely happens by itself, so long as the engineers have what they need. And that last part is the key, because engineers have opinions, but they're smart enough to not open their mouths until they have proof positive that they are right. The only downside is that when they do open their mouths, it's in an arrogant and often socially challenged way that pits everyone against them. Don't make my mistake. Engineers make poor lawyers. Whoever inherits this office after me, just make sure you don't let anyone control the self-destruct button who is an easy pinch. They get these codes, we're done for. Overseer Dixon.
Oh, that's awful. I hope that never happens. Wait, we have a self-destruct switch?
Vault 18, Tier 1 Network, Terminal 2, Vault 18 History, Part 2. Vault 10 Log, 5/21/2242, Mr. Tubbs. Hey, have you guys been out our way in the past few weeks? Crazy shit has been going on all over this place. The NCR has been at war with these freaks in power armor. We haven't been able to synth any new Nuka-Cola, so we're running on reserves. Have you guys find any? We're getting real thin up in this shit. Let us know what you can find. And hey, thanks for keeping us in the loop. I know we're not a control and all, but it's nice to just chat with you guys sometimes, you know? Takes the edge off. Mr. Tubbs.
Vault 10 seems odd. They said they weren't a control. I wonder what the experiment was.
Vault 3 Log, 5/10/2242. Hey you guys, we traded a package of heating units for this weird reverse pulse cleaner. None of us have any idea what to do with it now that we've got it, so we're putting it in a locker until we figure it out. If you guys have any info, we'd appreciate it. Vault 76 Log, 5/16/2242. Oh wow, we had no idea this old thing even worked. It's been shut down for decades. Hello from the Appalachians, or what's left of it. Man, it's great to know there is a group of survivors on the West Coast. Looking forward to hearing back from y'all.
Wonder what happened to Vault 76.
Vault 8 Log, 582242. The NCR has again petitioned us to join them, even after we rejected their last offer. They seem to be turning hostile. Please be advised that we may be entering a combat situation in the near future. With the gangs of New Reno increasing pressure and NCR pushing our way, we may not be able to maintain peaceful relations much longer. Vault City may fall, but we wish that the following data stream be stored in your archives. The Enclave, the NCR, the Brotherhood, no one must have it, not even you. We have encrypted the transmission. Prepare 5 megabytes of space on your most secure system. If you are unconvinced of its importance, know this. It is related to one of your own citizens. No one can be trusted. One day, in many years, it may be revealed. But today let the knowledge rest only in its memory. Project Brazil is not safe. They come for our hero to spell our doom. Radroach, 2242.
What the hell is Project Brazil? It's really weird.
Vault 18 Tier 1 Network, Terminal 3. Project Control, Net Connections, available. Vault 10. Connection active, display text, automated greeting. Thank you for choosing refreshing Nuka-Cola brand Nuka-Cola. Together with our friends at Vault-Tec, we've joined forces to maintain our humanity through the cool and exciting flavors of Nuka brand colas. We'll ride out the nuclear devastation and happiness. Enjoy your stay.
So, Vault 10 was sponsored by Nuka-Cola or something? That's weird.
Vault 3. Connection active, display text. Anyone out there? We have a water leak in the lower levels. Water chip failing. Need to open vault to scavenge parts. In the Vegas area, we met some Port 16 Vault 3 error 404, server terminated.
Oh no, I wonder what happened to Vault 3.
Vault 8. Connection active, display text. Vault 8 in Western Nevada here. We have opened the vault to survive. We have medicine and doctors. Not much else. Vault is becoming unlivable as systems break down. Vault City is doing well outside, growing. We've encountered several tribes and other vault dwellers living on the surface. Our GEC is being used to restore the land. We haven't heard from anyone, and assume we are the most technologically advanced civilization in the wastes. If you can respond by text, please do. We'd love to hear from you. Note from Rossman, do not reply to this message. Ain't no advanced civilization left out there called Vault City. What wasn't blown up in the Brotherhood of Steel NCR war has been taken over by an NCR intelligence unit. They're looking for us. Port 16 Vault 8 error 404, server terminated.
Oh, so this vault must have been taken over by the NCR, whatever they are.
Vault 76. Connection active, display text. Port 16, Vault 76, error 404, server terminated. Vault 81. Connection active, display text. Port 16, Vault 87, error 404, server terminated.
Okay, that's just nonsense. What was this vault?
Vault 82. Connection active, display text, port 16, Vault 82, error 404, server terminated. Vault 88. Connection active, display text. No one will ever find us. Door to Vault was not completed, but we made it work. We have lots and lots of resources. Someone, if you read this, we need help. 1993. Port 16, Vault 88, error 404, server terminated.
Oh no, I wonder what happened to them.
Vault 19. Connection active. Display text. Yellow dust everywhere. Toxic. Sulfur leaking in. And with the water seeps, making sulfuric acid, eating holes in this vault. If you read this, we are leaving this hole. Port 16, Vault 19, error 404, server terminated.
That sounds awful. I really hope they made it out.
Vault 119. Connection active, display text, port 16, Vault 119, error 404, server terminated. Vault 16. Connection active, display text, port 16, Vault 16, error 404, server terminated. Vault 43. Connection active, display text. Anyone? Help! There is a panther in here! Port 16, Vault 43, error, 404, server terminated.
Okay, what possible experiment could they want to put a panther in a vault for? What the hell?
Vault 65, connection active, display text, port 16, Vault 65, error, 404, server terminated. Vault 52, connection active, display text, port 16, Vault 52, error, 404, server terminated. Vault 118, connection active, display text, port 16, Vault 118, error, 404, server terminated. Vault 120, connection active, display text, port 16, Vault 120, error, 404, server terminated. Vault 77, connection active, display text. They left me alone with the puppets. Port 16, Vault 77, error, 404, server terminated.
Well, that sounds terrifying.
Vault 122, connection active, display text, port 16, Vault 122, error, 404, server terminated. Vault 44, connection active, display text, port 16, Vault 44, type TCP MUX port 1, help, CRLF, help, 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 help.
That sounds terrifying. Maybe it was a good idea to sever these connections.
Vault 18, Tier 1 Network, Terminal 4. Vault 18 History, Part 4. Overseer Christensen, 10-1-2258. My father always told me that adversity reveals character. Coach Bragg said something to me along those lines before last week's tryouts for a new Vault Ball team. The man is a miracle. Gruff, impossible to take a read on. I can never tell if he's angry or just determined. But he's saving our children from themselves. When we adopted these children, they were mostly infants and toddlers. We had no sense of parental direction. And we were all in our late 50s, so set in our ways, we had no frame of reference on how to discipline or encourage children. As teenagers, one only has to examine the walls of the upper apartments to see the rebellion in their hearts, a rebellion we had been unfit to quell. I am cautiously optimistic about this vault's future, but the startling reality is that if our enemies find themselves more organized in coming months, we are ill-equipped to handle them. We are not a young vault any longer. The median age for life expectancy is 102.9 years. I myself am 75. During the Exodus 60 years ago, most of those that left were youthful, 18 to 45. They're gone now. Our teenagers here are all that's left to stand between us and the outside world. I gave Coach Bragg these troubled souls to train them, to educate them. He gave them an outlet we could not: sports, team-building exercises, discipline. He moves them with almost military precision. It's incredible. In just a few short years, he has changed them so much. I'm truly grateful to him.
You sure had to quell that rebellion, didn't you? Ugh, I hate Coach Bragg.
Overseer Christensen, 10-21-2258. I have a list from Coach Bragg on my desk. He calls it the Master List. It has the names of all 300 citizens on it, organized in 3-lettered brackets. He and Chevy agree that this is the order that our citizens should follow for duty in case of an attack by outside forces. Those at the top, the A list, are on his Vault Ball team, the Patriots. The B list has mostly young women on it, only a handful of boys from the opposing Barbarians team. C has just a few, the Hale children, and Dr. Rossman. Ben Kurtz is noted with a star, along with Sean, Mandy, and Jason. Then there is the D list. I am listed at the top, followed by everyone over 50. Nearly 250 souls. It's a startling reminder of just how aged we are, just how frail our existence is. I have signed off on the letter. Hopefully, should the Survivalist Raiders, the Brotherhood, or NCR Prospectors ever find our vault, Coach Bragg can defend us against them. I'm loath to see the tribal children we raise follow this man to war, but it is the only way. He knows them better than I ever will.
No, he doesn't, 'cause he's an idiot. Also, why is everyone over 50 apparently worthless? It's obvious that he's ranking people, and it's just awful. Every life has value. It also really worries me. He told the overseer that's what this list was for, but I don't trust Bragg.
Overseer Christensen, 11/1/2258. Chief Evison sent Dr. Rossman, Yeti Hale, Dr. Bishop, and Sergeant Norman out into the wasteland last week, as noted in my logs. It was sobering seeing them there in the vault gear room, dressed in their archaic rags and armed to the teeth. It's like watching old heroes ride off into the sunset in a cloud of swirling dust. The Wasteland Scouts, living legends. They seem so tangible here at home, but seeing them going off on another adventure, it's inspiring. They have never been the same since Dr. Kyoto died so many years ago. We never did get a full explanation of what happened, just that she died of a virulent virus given to her by a prospector. It's hard to believe that the NCR betrayed the Scouts. After all, they did to fight the Raiders, to help defeat the Brotherhood of Steel in the war. After fighting the Enclave, gang bosses, there are even rumors that the Wasteland Scouts saved the world on numerous occasions. But this is the reality. Coach Bragg warns us that the Raiders or NCR may strike us at any moment. He believes they know where we are. That is what this secret mission is about, to finally determine just how far the Raiders have spread, how close the NCR is to finding us. The reports have been locked away behind the Tier 3 firewall. Rossman says that if his brightest students can crack into it, they may just be a worthy Wasteland Scout candidate. But for the others, well, we've just hidden away this secret mission. No one knows they have gone, and no one, so far, has noticed.
I really wonder what they found on that mission. Also, is this the reason Dr. Rossman wants us to hack into this? Does he want us to be a Wasteland Scout?
Overseer Christensen, 11/8/2258. The work on the terrarium is nearly complete, and most of my administrative and executive controls have been shipped there. I had the men move the old spare master computer monitors from storage to the garden cave, and we begun planting succulents. It is a lovely place for meditation. After this is finished, we will never again have to rely on the stale crumbs of our hydroponics lab. I love it there, and so does Jason. He has been helping us build the garden, rock by rock. I am proud of my son, no matter how rebellious he may be. He hasn't been sleeping at home with his mother and I. I fear his tribal origins may be weighing on his mind again. He chooses his brother and sister over us, along with the older star child. We installed the last of the vault controls today. As the hard locking mechanism for the self-destruct was slipped into place and activated, I felt a pang of fear. Not at the realization that it existed, but that I realized I wasn't afraid of it. I'd rather destroy this vault than let it fall to our enemies. And that is a feeling I am not sure how to accept.
Oh no. Why would he kill... He's basically saying he'd rather kill all of us than let them in the vault. That's terrible. I mean, maybe if the suffering would outweigh it, but I don't know about destroying the vault just to keep it out of their hands.
Vault 18, Tier 1 Network, Terminal 5. Kira's terminal, keep out, unless you are helping. Report on Wasteland Factions by Kira. I've taken all the notes I've been able to find on these old Tier 1 terminals about where my real parents may be. The scouting reports don't really have any clue what happened, and they're as dense as college textbooks. I've learned about these candidates. 1. Super mutants. Slow, angry, and big. Some people say they eat humans. 2. Raiders. There used to be all kinds of them. Khans, jackals, vipers. But they were all beaten by the NCR and ran away. 3. The Enclave. They were really bad guys that were beaten up by the NCR. I don't know if they still exist. 4. The Brotherhood of Steel. Maybe. They're technophiles that live in bunkers. 5. Caravans. These guys just roam around selling stuff, they're okay. 6. The Gangs of New Reno. They take slaves and all kinds of bad stuff. 7. The Slavers Guild. The NCR broke them up, but they've retreated to Athens with the others. 8. The She. They're all bankers and tech geniuses from San Francisco. I'll keep looking until they make me go home. I never want to go back there.
Oh, Kira, what were they doing to you?
War in the Valley by Kira. I found a bunch of notes on the Tier 1 terminal about a fight in the Cajun Pass. It seems like the Wasteland Scouts have been fighting these survivalists since the beginning, but after the NCR began expanding, they fought back. Now the survivalists take anybody willing to resist the NCR and hold the line at their base in Athens. It's not too far from here, that's why they never go outside. They said the survivalists take slaves. Maybe they took my parents? Dead End by Kira. Dr. Rossman won't help me. He says I should learn to hack these old systems on my own. I'm only 10. I barely know how to type. My fake mom and dad won't let me stay here. He hits me when he drinks. I have to find a way out of here. I want my real parents back.
Oh, Kira, I knew he was doing something to you. I'm so sorry. Fuck those guys.
Restarting the search. I haven't looked back at these notes since I was 10, when they banned me from being in here. I'm 19 now, and I won't take I don't know for an answer. I want out of this vault more than ever. I have to get out before they turn me into another one of their Cinderella bimbo baby makers. That stupid Jen Hale caught me in the cistern repairing the exterior connections. I don't know how she did it. Drama queen. Because of her, I had to tell the overseer what my dad does to me in front of everyone. I'll kill her one day if I get the chance, I swear. But for now, I've learned everything. I've read every programming book. I've read every magazine, every report I could unlock. I know the survivalists have my parents. I just need the last bit of proof. Then I need someone to unlock the main vault door. I'll go for it the first chance I get.
I'm so sorry that you had to deal with this, Kira. I can understand why you want to get at it. I better go tell Rossman that I unlocked the Tier 1 terminals.
Yeah, kid. What is it? Haven't found yourself in trouble again, have you?
I fixed the Tier 1 networks.
Wow, I have to admit, I could have done it years ago, but I just didn't give a shit. What did you find?
I found a ton of old history reports from the weeks after the Great War.
Ah, now that's something worth looking into. I don't need an essay or anything. I trust you've learned enough. Now go on. You had a tough day. Now you should just go off to bed now. And don't let those death crawls get you from under the bed.
No way. I gotta
Later.
unlock the other tiers.
Hey, have you seen my Programmer's Digest lying around? I hope you didn't read it, but it would explain why it disappeared.
Welcome back. I hope you are enjoying your stay with Vault-Tec. Maintenance menu.
Tier 1 network to serve.
There are no tasks in the maintenance queue. You have restored this system already.
Tier 2 network to server.
This should be exciting. You will have to restore several switches in the vault to restore my functions. I have sent their locations to your Pip-Boy. Have fun.
Alright. Let's just try these switches right here.
Welcome back.
Tier 2 networks offline.
You have done well, young Vault Dweller. Maybe next time you will give me a turn reorganizing your internal organs. Oh, look at that. You unlocked a few more data stores. Please, avail yourself of this bounty of bitchy diaries and 200-year-old grocery lists.
Well, that was really easy. And yeah, thanks for that, Maria. Tier 2 networks online.
Tier 2 systems optimal. Vault Tech orders demand all subsystem tiers be unlocked. Tiers have been offline for 66,795 days. Main menu.
Vault 18, Tier 2 Network, Terminal 1, San Bernardino Scout Reports, Part 1. Sergeant Danvers, 1-4-2078. After everything we've been through in the past 4 months, Overseer Clint Dixon has ordered an immediate evaluation of the cave exit beyond the vault door. Vault Tech standard orders have been to keep the door shut for a minimum of 80 years, and a series of hard locks and chemical timers have been set in place to prevent override of those controls. No matter what Dixon orders us to do, there is no way any of us are getting through that door. Sergeant Danvers, 2-2-2078. I have always tried to be a good man. I served 15 years for the LAPD before I agreed to join Vault Tech's MP program in the San Bernardino Valley. I fought in the Gobi Desert before that. I know this isn't a place for personal reflections, but what I've watched in the past few months has made me question who I am as a human being, and a law officer. We overthrew Clarence Dovnick thinking he was the man that tried to have us killed, only to find out he was really the man that had saved us. Not until it was too late, and he was killed by forced cyanide pill. By whom, we may never know. When Dixon left us as guard chief and became the new overseer, he made me the head of scout missions to the outside. But even after a total reversal of Vault Tech orders, that door is locked, and the only scouting I have to do is of my own soul. Sergeant Danvers, 5-8-2099. It's been a little more than 20 years since I last updated this archive. There hasn't been any need. The door is still frozen in place like it has been through a half-dozen overseers and years of arguing. No matter what, I know I will die waiting for the day I see the outside again through anything but that tiny security camera watching the darkness of the cavern. Sergeant Danvers, signing off.
So sad that he never got to see the outside again.
Vault 18, Tier 2 Network, Terminal 2, San Bernardino Scout Reports, Part 2. Sergeant Danvers III, 12-24-2157. Wow, this is the best Christmas of all time, ever! After 80 years, the doors are finally opening. A bunch of us have gotten together and started planning our intended destinations. My granddad used to tell stories about the world outside, and now it's finally here. I can't wait to go visit Big Bear Lake and Pine Haven. Apparently, they were really nice places. Green trees, big pools of water, tons of tasty fish. Granddad always wondered what could be left, and Dad told me that people are bound to be rebuilding everything by now. Before Granddad died, I told him I'd look up at the stars for him first step I take out of the cave. And I'm going to do just that tonight.
Aw, that sounds sweet.
Acting Sergeant Elias, 1-3-2158. This is Acting Sergeant Elias, reporting back from Scouting Mission 0. Most of our party was lost on Day 3 as we scouted the ruins of the Big Bear Bridge. We encountered a band of heavily armed men who surrounded and disarmed us with flash grenades. At some point between my being rendered unconscious and reawakening, Officer Jackson and Sergeant Danvers commenced fire on the hostile assailants, but were quickly dispatched. Officer Travers and I managed to escape to the tree line, but Travers was gunned down as we crossed the river. I was grazed in the left shoulder and left for dead. They stripped me of my uniform and weapons and left me on the shore. A woman from a colony of slaves awoke me some hours later and escorted me to the vault door. We brought her into custody and I enjoyed an extended stay in our infirmary.
Oh no, that's awful. I wonder who attacked them.
Sergeant Elias, 1-6-2158. The roads leading from Vault 18 to Pine Haven are mostly intact and clear of major debris. There is a crater leading to the old military base, presumably from an atomic weapon. Pinehaven itself is utterly destroyed, save for a few central buildings. There are signs of animal life, but none that we could see or recognize. There is no green foliage. There are cars on either side of the road for hundreds of miles, many of which seem to have been moved and stripped of usable parts. There is no visible sign of a restored United States. It appears the entire continent was completely destroyed by the war 80 years ago, and has remained in a state of decay ever since.
Well, that stinks.
Sergeant Elias, 1-8-2158. The woman we saved, Orica, is a slave from a city several miles away called Union City. She speaks Southern English, has good manners, and has provided us descriptions of a survivalist ruling party which conquered them several decades ago. Something about the mining operation at Athentech having been used as a staging area for this army of isolationists. This military operation is likely well aware of us now, so future missions along Highway 173 are ill-advised. She warned us of another danger, a mutant horde along Highway 18, but she is too ashamed to speak of them. We are planning several new scouting missions, an entire training regimen for the new recruits.
I wonder who these survivalists are. I keep hearing about them. They seem to be slavers,
hey, have you seen my
though.
Programmer's Digest lying around? I hope you didn't read it, but it would explain why it disappeared.
Vault 18, Tier 2 Network, Terminal 3, San Bernardino Scout Reports, Part 3. Dr. Rogers, 2201-521. This is the 100th successful scouting mission launched from Vault 18. A proud moment. This morning a team of myself, Kara, my wife, and our granddaughter, Sarah, had a picnic outside in the grass. It's growing nicely this spring. I remember when it didn't grow at all. How lovely.
That sounds nice.
Dr. Rogers, 2201-528. Since there are currently 1,306 of us currently living in Vault 18, it is greatly satisfying to report that I found several locations scattered around the Crestline Valley and the Angelus Heights fit for colonization. There is an NCR settlement in the far south past the Char of San Bernardino Valley, leading towards the Sequoia Zone, that will serve as prime colony targets. I've spoken with several NCR representatives about the best possible locations, and they assure me that staying clear of our immediate area is essential. Then again, none of them have ever traveled I-15 like I have, nor care to from what I've told. Tandy has no interest in this area, not yet. To be sure, we have begun teaching our children a game in which they forget Vault 18's location and name. If they remember, they lose the game. It's become a sport among them. If we are ever tempted to reveal where the vault is, it will be an easy resistance because we simply will not know.
Wow, that's a really clever way of making sure other people don't find out where the vault is.
Dr. Rogers, 2201-718. There have been several tectonic shifts that I believe are precursors to a much larger event. We are sitting just a few miles east of the San Andreas Fault. It runs right through the valley beyond Athentech. While we are assured that Vault 18 will survive the biggest quake imaginable, I'm loath to believe 140-year-old predictions. The cement shell has been curing for what amount of time, and good engineering will require a reassessment of densities across the whole shell, and the shock threshold of the supports. At the very least, we're looking at a situation where we will be digging our way out of the cavern. I'm suggesting that the colony attempt hasten and we leave sooner. They're calling us exodites in the vault. Maybe we are exiles, but in my heart I know, and hundreds like me, that we belong out there, in the world, among the tribes.
That must be the exodus that Kira was talking about, where so many of them left.
Vault 18, Tier 2 Network, Terminal 4, San Bernardino Scout Reports, Part 4. Sergeant Norman, 628-2241. Scouting Report Number 202. There have been rumors of Brotherhood of Steel Scouts passing the area near Vault 18. It is said that they'd establish a camp nearby, searching for pre-war locations in the mountains near us. We've encountered the Brotherhood several times in our various adventures. Yeti has several scars to tell the tale. But in case we have a new student reading these logs, let me tell you a bit about them. The Brotherhood of Steel formed from what was left of the United States Army over a century ago. They were once a huge organization, but now they're essentially a loose band of raiders. Their motto of late is, "We're the only salvation this tortured planet and its people have. Without us, humanity is sure to perish." That should give you an idea of what they're like. Relatively little is known about the early years of the Brotherhood of Steel, but they acquired a ton of power armor from when they were still army men, and have taken to treating themselves like ancient knights of the Round Table. Odds are you've never read a book about that in the Vault Library. Go look it up, it'll make sense after that. Even got their own King Arthur by the name of Maxon. Yeah, as in that Maxon. Don't know if he was the dumb who led the Brotherhood into its grave, Jeremy, in a past life, but my money's on Boss Maxon being some black sheep's second cousin they could quietly punt off the Council of Elders. Brotherhood's too stuck in the mud of tradition. Odds are the old man Jeremy could on the BOS cog and they'd still follow him off a cliff. They tend to be shy. They scour the waste for technology, building up some kind of storehouse meant to enrich humanity. Or so they say. Really, it just enriches them. They'll take anything you have and strip you down, leave you dead if they see something they like, especially if you're lesser people. This bad habit got them in a war with the New California Republic. With their superior technology, the Brotherhood managed to give the NCR a good smack, even coming close to winning that war. But the Brotherhood's technological advantage was nothing compared to the sheer volume of the NCR military. The Brotherhood was isolated, undermanned. They froze themselves to death. The NCR kicked their ass and took everything they could get their hands on. We were part of that war in several places, basically starting it. The Wasteland Scouts derailed several Brotherhood attempts to ransack Vault 18, kept them chasing their tails, and eventually used their technology to turn them against the NCR. When they weren't paying attention, we had our friends in the NCR get a gander of their storehouse. After that, the greedy NCR politicians were salivating. War ensued. We'll check up on this and update the logs. Update 10/02/2048. Fortunately, rumors have proven to be false. There is nothing in the area that would indicate BOS presence, apart from an outcast located in Union City. Specifically old Doc Marius. Crazy sci-fi was trying to impress Dr. Kyoto with his shiny suit of power armor. Crazy lovebirds. I reprimanded her for fraternizing with locals and not informing us.
Wow, so that's what the Brotherhood of Steel is like, and the NCR is the New California Republic? I'm learning a lot here. I wonder why Vault 18 turned them against each other. I guess it was just to save themselves.
Sergeant Norman, 4/17/2242. Scouting report number 189. While on a routine patrol, we crossed an old Vault 18 exile settlement in the region, about 30 clicks from Union City. The place was a mess, demolished and abandoned, showing marks of a fight that must have took place some hours ago. Inhabitants were caught by surprise, probably by a force that was superior in numbers. There wasn't much sign of a firefight. No corpses were found. It seems the aggressors sacked the settlement in a hurry, destroying what they couldn't take and left with everyone, dead or alive. Careful inspection allowed us to discover a hidden nook behind one of the houses. Survivors were found inside, just infants and toddlers, all in the age between 2 and 4 approximately. They were wearing exodite marks. 4 of them had little blue pentagrams painted on their bodies in various places, seeming to indicate a family name. They were terrified. 2 kids named Jamie and Eric, the oldest of the bunch, told us that demons took their parents and left them behind. They were too scared to even talk about it. They said that the demon woman hid the 4 with the tattoos in the nook. As soon as we got them out of that hole, it was like they just forgot it ever happened. They've been quiet on the subject ever since. Unfortunately, no further tracks were found, and we were unable to determine what happened to the inhabitants. Settlement was small, and my bet is someone sold info on them to the passing slave caravan. The god-***ing survivalists probably were involved in the process. They've been taking slaves left and right ever since that L's dragon son of a took over after Rossman killed his leader, Boss Maxon. With the NCR pushing into the region, getting ready to liquidate the Enclave holdouts north of here, we have to be especially cautious. The NCR is winning the war with the Brotherhood, but just barely. They're on hard economic times. They're destroying tribes, wiping out whole civilizations, tearing apart towns going back generations. It's like they're trying to turn the entire California wasteland into a farm for taxes and soldiers. After we blew up the ethanol reserves at Athens Tech, they've been on a campaign to absorb every last Raider tribe from Washington to Texas. They were a ragtag organization just 80 years ago. Now they're turning into a war machine. The NCR keeps pushing around Raiders like dirt on a wet floor, and that dirt is starting to run off into the gutter of Athens Tech Mine. Rossman petitioned the Overseer and Council, which ordered an emergency session to admit the orphan children as Vault residents. These kids are our ancestors' blood. They're us. They may be dirty, starved, and terrified, but they're us. We're immediately rushing back out to scout the other 6 villages. If the Raiders are trying to take revenge on our tribes, we need to know. But I get the feeling this isn't just a revenge thing, or a desperate grab for manpower. I think someone, or something, is targeting our tribes to bait us.
So that's where we came from. That sounds really scary, though. I wonder what happened to all of our parents and to the other tribes.
Dr. Kevin Rossman, 8/12/2242. Scouting report number 193. We found the remaining Exodite tribes, numbers 6 and 7. They have been destroyed, along with the others. This time we were too late. The children were dead, likely from starvation. The scouts blame themselves. Truth is, I blame myself. This isn't the place for self-reflection, but it's my duty to report my failure. As lead scientist, I'm responsible for making technical suggestions. As a wasteland scout, it's my job to keep these people safe. We're more than just the defenders of Vault 18. We're protectors of humanity. We promised them, when they left Vault 18 decades ago, that we'd never abandon them in the wastes, that our mission was to protect not just our little vault, but everybody from here. I'm the leader of that operation. I hesitated to fight an unknown enemy, and for it, a dozen kids are dead. Tribes 6 and 7 were nomads. They didn't have a permanent settlement. Whatever came after them knew who they were. The Enclave is too bogged down with the NCR war to go back to their old schemes, so it can't be them. Brotherhood couldn't care less about us. NCR wouldn't do something like this, not on purpose. We've rescued all the kids we could. Whoever is targeting us has won. It's time we draw the line where we know we can protect the vault and bunker down.
I feel bad for you, Dr. Rossman. At least you saved us.
Security Chief Evison, 4/14/2253. Scouting report number 217. Union City has been invaded and successfully taken by the NCR, but it looks like we've lost the war. In our last reports, we've documented the agreement Dr. Rossman reached with the slaves of Union City and the NCR Colonel Bill Silverman. The NCR is aware of the Wasteland Scouts and our exploits. They've watched every episode, it seems. Big fans of the show, or so we thought. The NCR sent prospectors to take over Vault 18. They killed Dr. Kyoto and left us covering our butts. With those mercenaries chasing us back to Vault 18, we had no choice but to kill them. The NCR learned of it and branded us enemies of the state. Rossman specifically is called in for treason. They declared Vault 18 and Athens Tech equally annexed NCR property. They stormed in and took over the ethanol fields at Union City in a 3-week battle that left the entire region a glowing mess. The survivalists under L's Dragon had made a big impression on NCR brass. NCR thought they would be a pushover. They were wrong. L's dragon gave ground just to suck them in, then burned his own fields under their feet. The fields are full of explosive mutant corn. Probably killed 400 NCR soldiers in 30 seconds. Death by popcorn. Nasty. As we've documented, the Great Khans, Vipers, Jackals, all the Raider tribes with names or no names have flocked from across the wasteland to join the survivalists. The NCR has pushed them to utter desperation, enough to overcome decades of internal fighting and band together. We thought this battle was in the bag. The Raiders were finished. We were wrong. The survivalist message of freedom and isolation, of tax-free utopia and anarchy, has ironically created a grassroots movement of epic proportion. The NCR angels swept California clean, and the devils they sought to destroy, and all the demons came back to the Athens Tech mine. Now they're all here on our front door. The NCR is bogged down fighting the Brotherhood now. That war may or may not go in their favor. Until that's resolved and they lick their wounds, the NCR has given up on Athens Tech. The Raiders keep growing in numbers, hunkering down. They're sweeping the valley for us, looking for revenge. Chief Evanson has called it in. We're locking down Vault 18 until further notice. We'll close the door, start raising these kids we saved from the wasteland, and that'll be it. Our adventuring days are over. Wish it was on a better note.
So the leader of the Raider Alliance is a descendant of the Brotherhood leader? And they're libertarians? Okay. And this explains why we haven't been going outside of the vault in a long time.
Vault 18, Tier 2 Network, Terminal 5, San Bernardino Scout Reports, Image Log. Highway Picture 1.
What's that in the sky?
Highway Picture 2. Highway Picture 3. Highway Picture 4.
It seems like they're tracking it, whatever it is.
Vault 18, Tier 2 Network, Terminal 6, San Bernardino Scout Reports, Local Image Logs. Local Image Log 1. Local Image Log 2. Local Image Log 3.
Huh, that's interesting. I better go tell Rossman that I finished with Tier 2.
Yeah, kid. What is it? Haven't found yourself in trouble again, have you?
I fixed the Tier 2 networks.
Well, that you did. Great job, kid. I'm really impressed. What did you find?
Just a bunch of security logs and data from a few years ago. Stuff about the exodites.
Well, I'll be. That's a word I haven't heard in a long time. Exodites. Damn. You know, leading theory is when you kids were brought up here, it was because your parents were part of the Exodus. We never found out exactly what happened to them, just that they disappeared. I hope it kept you entertained. Now go on. You had a tough day. Now you should just go off to bed now. And don't let those death claws get you from under the bed.
No way, I've still got work to do. I wanted to talk about being a wasteland scout.
So, you want to join the elite few? Alright, let's talk. You've managed to earn my respect with previous comments, but this is another issue entirely. If you impress me again, I'll make you a wasteland scout. So what brings you to the conclusion I need you?
I think I could do a lot of good up top.
Oh, is that so? Well, tough break, kid. I'm gonna tell you the exact same thing I told everyone else for the past year. I-15, all the way from Union City to Pine Haven, is torn up like the devil's ass crack. Chief Evanson agrees. Ain't no way any of us is going out of that vault door without a damn fine reason to do so. And before you asked, I've already heard every variation I won't be talked into telling you why. Last time I opened my mouth, old Bragg almost shit himself gleeful and turned into Captain America.
Okay. I want to learn more about where I came from. Me and my family, I mean.
That's a long and complicated story. Truth is, I don't know. You deserve to, and I don't have the answers. The guilt kills me every time I think about it. You're a good kid. I'd like to tell you what I do know. 16 years ago, Sergeant Norman and I were following a tribal guide through Crestline Valley. We needed rest, and he knew a town. Once we got closer, he just stopped, went pale, and readied his gun. We followed him in. The town was empty, torn to hell. The old buildings used for shelter were wrecked, tents were torn, like a tornado stormed through. Then there were all you kids. No one older than 8, scattered, hungry, confused. So I picked you up. Evanson and Norman grabbed your brother and sister, and we walked straight here. Took 2 days, and no one said a word about what we were doing. The rest is history, but I assure you, I didn't carry your ass almost 100 miles just to watch you go back out there and wind up dead. But one day, hopefully when it's safer, you'll get that chance.
Wow, I had no idea we had so much history. Thank you, sir. I'll make you proud. Promise.
You betcha, kid. Later. Good to see you're not, wasting
Well,
time.
I guess we're Wasteland Scout, even though we won't be going outside for a while.